Fourth week of testimony is underway here at the Sean Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial with his former assistant, a woman testifying under the pseudonym Mia, back on the witness stand.
So, imagine this. You work for one of the most powerful guys in the music industry. From the outside, it looks like a dream job, fame, luxury, respect. But behind the scenes, it's a different story. You're sleep-deprived, emotionally drained, and worse, you're being mistreated and taken advantage of in ways that leave lasting trauma. Now fast forward to today. That same music mogul is in court, facing serious federal charges, and you're the one on the stand, finally telling your truth. But just as the world is listening, his lawyers are trying to tear you apart. That's exactly what happened to a former assistant of Diddy Combs. Yeah, this story just keeps getting heavier. Let's break it all down. Before we move on, just a quick note. We're a brand new channel with very few subscribers. Help us reach our first 1,000 by liking the video and subscribing. It keeps us going. We're in week 4 of Sean Diddy Combs' federal trial. The charges? Racketeering and trafficking conspiracy, both major federal crimes. He's pleaded not guilty to everything, and his lawyers say all the relationships he had were completely consensual. But then there's Mia, a former assistant who worked for Combs from 2009 to 2017. She's testifying under a pseudonym, and her story is raw. According to her, what happened behind the scenes wasn't just high pressure or toxic. She says she was mentally and physically broken down. Sleep deprivation, controlling behavior, and unwanted intimate encounters that left her scared and confused for years. She described one incident where Combs allegedly entered her room while she was sleeping and did things to her without her permission. She told the court she felt powerless, that her body was being used without her having any say in it. Now here's where it hits even harder. Mia told the court that she never came forward earlier, not because it didn't happen, but because she carried so much shame. In her words, "I wanted to die with this." When asked if she was lying, she responded clearly, "I have never lied in this courtroom, and I never will." She said the abuse wasn't just physical. She described how Combs would sometimes praise her like a best friend, then later threaten or manipulate her, a kind of emotional whiplash that made it harder for her to recognize how bad things really were. She even said she felt like she had been brainwashed over time and didn't truly realize how much harm was done until years after she left. Of course, Combs' lawyers came out swinging. His attorney, Brian Steele, pulled out private text messages and social media posts where Mia seemed affectionate toward Combs, even telling him "I love you" years after she left the job. Mia didn't deny the messages. She explained that while there was a version of Combs who treated her kindly, there was another side that was aggressive, threatening, and harmful. And that nicer version, she says, helped her survive mentally during that chaotic time. She said she didn't fully grasp how bad the situation was until later, because while it was happening, nobody acted like what was happening to me was wrong. She also claimed that Combs once threatened to expose her to his then-girlfriend, Cassie, something that made her internalize guilt and feel like she couldn't speak up. Now here comes the part that always raises eyebrows in court. Was this about money? The defense asked whether Mia was just trying to cash in, suggesting she might be jumping on the Me Too movement for a payout. The judge didn't let her answer that one. Objection sustained. Still, the jury heard that she received a $400,000 settlement from Combs and his companies in 2017, shortly after leaving the job. But Mia testified that the settlement had nothing to do with the abuse, and that she never mentioned any of it during that mediation. She also hasn't filed any lawsuits for money. When asked directly if she wants compensation from Combs now, she literally laughed and said, "No."
Defense has been confronting her with more of her flattering social media posts, calling Combs legend and a mentor, saying that she loves him, and the defense asking, this is the guy that traumatized you? And Mia's been telling him, defense attorney Brian Steele, just how complicated a relationship it was and how obligated she said she was as an employee to flatter him and to post all of these kinds of emphatically praiseworthy things.
Now, outside the presence of the jury, things got even more heated. Prosecutor Maureen Comey accused the defense of being overly aggressive, saying their cross-examination was humiliating, sarcastic, and borderline bullying. She worried it might scare off other victims in future cases. The judge didn't agree, saying the defense hadn't crossed the line yet, but he did warn the attorney to stick to proper questioning and not turn the cross-exam into a performance.
Once Mia's testimony concludes, the trial is going to shift back to the incident at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016, where Sean Combs, you'll recall, was caught on surveillance camera attacking Cassie Ventura. There could be 3 or 4 witnesses testifying about the video itself and some hotel employees telling the jury what they witnessed.
Mia is witness number 21 in what's expected to be an 8-week trial. And her testimony isn't just emotional, it's central to the government's claim that Combs ran a kind of personal empire built not just on music and business, but on control and fear. She spent much of her time on the stand looking down, hiding her face, visibly shaken as she described years of manipulation, emotional damage, and unwanted encounters that left her in pieces. And whether or not the jury believes her, it's clear this trial is about way more than celebrity gossip. It's about power, vulnerability, and the price of silence. This isn't just a courtroom drama, it's a major moment in the music industry, and depending on how this plays out, it could change the way we talk about fame, influence, and what really happens behind closed doors. So what do you think? Does Mia's story feel sincere? Or is the defense raising legitimate questions? Either way, we'll be following every twist and turn. So make sure to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it respectfully. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.